So we have another episode of Combustible Brains.
Welcome back, everyone.
Welcome back to all the 3 people that listen to us.
Exactly, as always.
I haven't checked the statistics on how many people listen to us recently, but I hope it's more than 3. But I'm sure it's less than 3.
Yeah. It's the dedicated people that count anyway, right? Who genuinely want to listen.
Exactly. So we wanted to do an episode on the Metaverse, which is a new fucked up thing that Facebook has started. So
it is so crazy.
Yeah. What do you
that they could even name this?
Dude, yeah. What do you think about Facebook changing their name to Meta, by the way?
So basically, the company with all the resources that they have and that like all the money they have, the fact that they came up with a name so lame is really hilarious and awesome at the same time. As in awesome because it's really funny to mock Facebook, and so I mean seriously, Meta. They could have at least called it Metaverse. That would have been slightly better because that's what they ultimately are going to name their whole thing, right? Or I think they already are naming it that.
Yeah, so I think Meta, I actually don't know why they called it Meta, but I think they are pivoting their entire company to go from normal social apps like Facebook and Instagram to this AR, VR, NFT fueled fuckfest that they want to create. So...
Or maybe they're just telling everyone like clearly for a change that we are taking your metadata all the time.
Oh, that could be a good one. And anyway, they do that, so it's
yeah, that's basically their main thing.
Exactly. There were some memes, man, where Mark Zuckerberg is standing in front of the Meta sign, and it's actually called meth, and the guy has 3 or 4 teeth missing, and he looks like a meth addict.
Oh, the meme engine has like really gone into overdrive after they announced the name.
Exactly.
It was crazy. I've also seen like the Meta logo being turned into like testicles and shit. It's so hilarious, man.
Dude, that's funny. But it's crazy, man. Did you watch that video that they posted, Connect 2021?
Dude, so when I had last seen Zuckerberg, like, in that Congress hearing or something, at that time I was like, this is like the most robotic looking guy ever. People like a famous person can't be more robotic looking. And then I saw that Metaverse announcement and he was looking even more robotic in this. That is scarily robotic.
Yeah, I think we were talking offline and you mentioned that his avatar or whatever they call it in the Metaverse looks more human than his actual real self.
I think Metaverse, like the whole thing makes sense for someone like Zuckerberg, who in real social life is such a, robot that he has to actually have like a facade in front of him that is actually digital, that is less robotic than he is like by default.
Yeah, and it's really funny because he sits in the Metaverse to talk to real people about real products, which I thought was really ironic, but anyway. Dude, it's so stupid, man. This Metaverse, so do you even understand this Metaverse? Because I don't. I'll be honest with you. I mean, I know kind of what they're trying to do, but I don't have a full understanding of what these people actually, have in mind.
So I guess ultimately their goal is obviously take as much data as they can, right? As we were speaking few minutes ago, like basically if they could have direct connection to the brain and like get even thoughts of what people are thinking, I think that's their ultimate goal. But this seems to be like that one step before reaching that ultimate goal, where so basically they want you to have like the entire life of yours in the Metaverse, kind of like that Player One, I think that movie, right?
Ready Player One.
Loading Player One. Ready Player One, right?
That's what.
So I think essentially it's this only, except like a significantly worse version of that, as in like beta alpha version of that.
Dude, it's so bad. It's so bad. I was looking up what the Metaverse is, and there is a New York Times article where the writer's 8-year-old son is trying to explain to him what the Metaverse is. And there was a quote there that I really liked. I think it went something like, on a good, or like one moment you're having a time of your life and the other day you're getting scammed by a scammer or something like that. So it is... When I read that, I thought this is like 4chan or 8chan or one of those, dark web websites. But now it is like a actual thing where you can walk around it.
It's got a shiny coat of paint now, so that it will look all, nice and harmless, but in reality it will become even worse.
It's going to be
And
horrible.
I can only imagine how Facebook's gonna regulate this, because even as it is the set of portfolio that they have right now, they are really doing a terrible job of moderating it in the right way. So here it's gonna be even worse, because they are expecting people to have like their entire lives here. They're like saying play games with your friends and like play table tennis. I'm like, that's the worst way to do it. At least with the current technology.
Yeah, dude, it's so bad. There was, do you watch this guy, Tim Dillon? I'm a huge fan of Tim Dillon, who is a stand-up comedian. And he, on his recent show, was talking about Facebook not being able to stop people from selling their maids online. So in Philippines, apparently this is a huge problem in the Philippines, where people actually go and try to sell their maids, like actual human trafficking, on the website. And this continued on Facebook for a long time. And Facebook's ML apparently is not trained in the local language. I don't know what that language is, but apparently they cannot detect posts like that. So this continued for a long time. So for fun, Tim Dillon, during his show, he posted to his own account. Of course, he's a comedian, so people know that. But he posted something like, I have a maid for sale chained in my basement and you can buy her if you want. And he was experimenting to see if by the end of the show, the post gets taken down, and it didn't get taken down. So he was like,
dude, that is so messed up, man.
So just imagine, this is such a real world problem, and they should be tackleable, right? Like, you just figure out what is going on, and then you stop these posts or ban these people or whatever, report them to law enforcement, whatever it takes.
Especially after you're taking so much data, at least then you should have these algorithms figured out, because I mean, let's face it, right? Facebook could be the most data hungry company ever.
Oh, it is.
And if they can't have like their models trained enough, even after taking all that data, then what are you doing with that data? Like, why?
Exactly. Like, knowing everything that you know, you should be able to stop people from selling people on your website. That's all I'm saying. So, yeah, which is
not a hard goal. It's just like not a like really tall expectation from Facebook. Just not sell people. That's all.
Yeah. So before they talk about privacy, maybe fix that problem first. So.
It's really hilarious when Zuckerberg talks about privacy. In the keynotes or whatever, like their announcements, they are usually talking about privacy. And it's so funny when he utters that word, privacy. We believe in privacy.
Exactly.
What are you talking about?
The moment
that's like the.
Yeah, no, it is true. The moment I read or watch Zuckerberg talk about privacy, it's just like, dude, this is rich coming from you. You are literally like
the guy.
You are the guy that violates everybody's privacy. If you could, you would plug straight into our brains, right? They would hack our brain, read every thought, everything, and put it on a server somewhere. So this is super rich coming from you, and they still say it. So it's
extremely rich, man. That is so crazy. And the scarier part, like even scarier part to me, is that people will accept it. Like, if he comes up with a shiny enough product that maybe gets people like more likes or more attention, or some stuff like that, some instant gratification like that, people will jump onto that platform, man. It is crazy how quickly people just jump onto a new platform, just click accept, and start like uploading stuff there if they get enough views and likes and all that. It is crazy. So that is the scary part to me about this whole metaverse also. Like, we are joking about it right now that it's so pointless, and it just like how Facebook also has been time and again accused that they are like tearing apart the world and like making people further away. So this will be even worse than that, right? And yet the scary part is people will sign up right away. Like, as soon as Zuckerberg gives like a subsidized Oculus goggle, or it's like a free Oculus thing, VR headset or something, people will be like jumping on that train and accepting all the terms and conditions, giving up their life for that shiny new instant gratification.
Oh yeah, this is going to happen. Do you know about Roblox? ROBLOX.
No, what's that about?
Okay, so even I didn't know about this. And when I was researching, like this metaverse, just trying to understand it, I came across this thing. So Roblox is a game that a lot of the new generation is playing. The new generation as in the people who are like, 12 to 20 years old, or
Teenagers,
right?
Yeah.
So people who have a lot of free time and they don't know what the hell to do with it, and they're also stuck at home, mind you, with all this quarantine and everything. So Roblox is a platform, okay, which is not VR at the moment. I don't know if they have a VR plugin, but it is essentially a video game. And in this video game, you can be anything. And the idea is like you can be anything. You have an avatar and you can create your own games and you can be plugged in it. And people are spending literally like days on this platform, all hooked in. So the stuff that you and me are joking about, saying like this would be so terrible, kids love it. Kids love this idea that they can go anywhere and do anything. So for example, that series Squid Game, did you watch it, by the way?
No, I didn't, but I saw enough videos on YouTube to kind of know what it's about.
Yeah, so spoiler alert, right? Like they have these games, and if you lose, essentially you would die, and then eventually somebody wins. Okay, that's the premise. So right, so people started recreating these Squid Game kind of games inside Roblox. So essentially they created two teams where there is whatever, like the tug of war game or like whatever. So they started creating all these games in Roblox, and people play this with strangers online all the time. So the idea is like traditionally video games, like they have a narrative, like you do something in it which is kind of pre-programmed and everything. With Roblox, that is not
right. It's regulated and all, right? As in, it's censored, regulated, all of that. And I'm assuming this is like completely not.
No, not only is it not regulated or has anybody looked at it, it is fully open. So you can do whatever you want. So if you want to create a game where you like kill each other by throwing them into like a fire pit, you can do that. So Roblox is doing this and people are hooked with it. So
and teenagers are playing this.
Oh yeah, and they're obsessed with it. Obsessed. So
holy shit.
Yeah,
man.
they're obsessed with it. I did not realize how big the obsession is. So I think what's going to happen is, Facebook will buy a company like Roblox. So maybe, pro tip, maybe start investing in Roblox.
Good one.
Right? Because that's what they did.
This is an insider scoop we have.
Yeah.
Don't tell anyone.
Invest in Roblox. Because this is what happened to Instagram, right? Like Instagram was a photo sharing app. Facebook, purchased it.
WhatsApp too, right? I guess even WhatsApp in that sense.
Exactly.
Like something keeps getting enough people base. Facebook is like, okay, we're gonna buy that, mine data from that.
Yeah, so I think that's how they're going to do it. I think Facebook has a thing called Facebook Reality Labs or something like that. Facebook Reality Labs will buy Roblox, or at least they will hire everybody from Roblox. Then they'll create a VR game, kind of, right? Like they'll create an app. So that's how they will enter it. And then they will add all the crap in it. So for example, Reality Labs will probably add Oculus support, or I think they're trying to build some new glasses or something which have what is it called, augmented reality support. And they will then start integrating these APIs into their whatever game that they create or whatever world that they create. And I think that's like going to be Metaverse 1.0. So that's my prediction. Let's see.
And that's just gonna be the beginning of all the like thousands and thousands of data points on you that people are gonna just willingly give up for Metaverse.
Yeah, not just that. I mean, data point is one thing. Okay, they're already doing it. They already know a lot about you. But what is even more concerning is that you are actually going to lose connections to the real world now. So currently it's already pretty bad, right? Like people live for Instagram, they travel for Instagram.
Properly.
Right?
Exactly.
But now they are going to lose human connection, which I think is going to be way worse.
It's going to be disastrous for like humans in general, right? Because we are social species in the sense where not digital connect, but we get that, like all the right chemicals get released when we are actually meeting people face to face. And that already has been declining due to all these digital platforms and pandemic and all of that. And now it will have even like people will have even more reason to not actually go physically meet your friend and instead just meet in a common virtual room or some stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
which is really saddening, right?
It's very saddening. You remember like when we were kids, right? Like we are 31, 32 years. I'm almost...
Dude, I was gonna just say that, man. I was just gonna say that. Like the joys of playing outside, or the joys of like meeting people or like doing random non-intelligent stuff when you were kids.
Exactly.
I think that is genuinely something that I would say kids today are unfortunately not able to experience that as much already. and it's just gonna go on getting worse, man, from here on out.
Yeah, and I think there is something deep in our human system which requires that. It's not an optional thing. I do think that being social is an important
Genuinely.
thing, right? Like, you cannot get the same experience that you get in the real world in the metaverse. I don't think anybody can argue that point. So,
and I think there that the bad part about that is you get some of the feelings that, so when you, for example, connect to a friend using over a video call, for example, you do get some of that feeling that, you are actually speaking to your friend and you're getting that feeling, but there's still something like hollow. You don't feel like complete satisfaction when you're communicating with humans over digital platforms. It's always significantly better when you meet the person face to face.
oh yeah, I
And
mean that, because
that's gonna get worse.
it's going to
here.
get worse. And see, the thing is, our interaction is not just speech and video, right? It is also like a lot of body language. It is, how comfortable people are around each other. There is a lot of unspoken communication that happens between people.
Exactly.
So
Some may even argue that that is actually more than the communicated things. Like even something as simple as touch, like shaking hands, for example.
yeah,
It is so underrated, right? But it has been proven time and again that it is so critical.
exactly. So all of this stuff is going to be lost. So when I was watching stuff like, gaming, or there is another section in that video, I think, called fitness. That was the worst one, in my opinion, where the guy plugs himself into the metaverse and then goes for a run. Like, dude, you can go,
Oh, damn.
or something, or he plays basketball or something. I don't remember exactly what, but whatever. Like, he's trying to do fitness in the metaverse. So instead of that, why don't you go to a real gym, or why don't you go for a real run? Or
Exactly.
so it's going to.
And one more consideration to this whole metaverse thing, that I'll derive this from that Ready Player One movie. Okay, so in that, if you have seen that movie, it has. Have you seen the movie?
I have
Ready
not.
Player
I've
One?
only watched the memes.
So okay, so basically in that, what they have shown is that the actual world, like the real physical world, is like in a complete disarray. Okay, it's like messy, and the settlements are all cramped, and it's properly hellish in that sense, like whatever they have shown.
Okay.
Like the whatever cities or slums or whatever they have shown. So problem is, when you're so invested, like everyone has like this sounds like slightly more philosophical or something now, but you have like fixed time, right? When you are here on this planet, you have fixed amount of
True.
time. If you want to spend that time in a digital world trying to improve that, which if you pull the servers, or delete everything from that, it all goes. Okay, like nothing stays in reality. Like none of the real issues on the planet are gonna go away. So if you're spending whatever limited time you have in your life in a virtual world trying to fix issues that are not even real issues or whatever, then you're not really taking humanity ahead, right? In that sense. So the real world will go on getting worse and worse and worse. Yet your human brain will be satisfied that, okay, no, my meta life is, metaverse life is good. I have like a car there, I have this, that, cleanliness, everything. So it doesn't matter if my real world is shit, because I'm anyway gonna put that VR goggle and get all those feelings, like all those chemicals released in my brain that will give me a false sense of feeling that, yeah, my life is great. But in reality, your life is like the worst possible, and no one will take efforts in the real world.
Yeah, this is truly sad. It reminds me sort of that movie Inception or The Matrix or things like that, where like the real world sucks, but then you are living in this fake world where nothing is real. Like, in some sense, this is even worse than issues like porn or stuff, right? Like, where you have gratification without the actual like physical like interaction or like any meaning. Like, it's meaningless. But this takes me,
At least at the end of it, you come out of it, right? At least at the end of like watching some stuff like that, you at least come out of it. Whereas here you will be like in it the whole time,
you're
for the majority of the time.
yeah, this makes those problems significantly worse, in my opinion. And there is no stopping it too. Like, you cannot actually stop humans from creating these crappy things, and people are going to be obsessed with it. They are going to love it. They are going to give Facebook their data. It's coming, because tech rules the world, man. There is no way around it. So it's just,
yes, it
right,
is.
like, I don't think you or me or many people like us, I don't think we are going to be plugged into the metaverse. Like, it's just something that won't interest us, I think.
Yeah, I think it's something like, for example, our grandparents, for example, they never cared about like computers, for example, or stuff like that, like cell phones, for example. So it's something like that. Like for us having like at least one third of our lives lived in like the whatever, like real, I wouldn't really say we are also living properly in the real world, because we are also too much connected to our phones and digital stuff these days, but at least not at like the VR AR level. We are not connected at least that deep yet.
Yeah.
So for people like us, I think since we have grown up with all of this, we especially will never get, I hopefully, hooked. But yeah, we'll have influences. Like there will be some point, like we were speaking about that iMessage thing, for example.
Yeah.
Like there will be some point where even if say 50% of your friends are on it, and you are like you have to discuss about some actual physical social event, then people are like, yeah, just come into the metaverse, we'll talk there, basically. And then at some point you will be like, we'll have to do it because everyone is on it, and we don't want to be that guy.
Yeah, and it's actually disadvantageous to be that guy, right? Because you then miss out on actual real world interaction. But at least here,
that defeats the purpose of living then.
Correct.
Basically, if you are just like being the person who is so focused on privacy that you would rather not have any human contact just for
right,
that.
which is also silly. So there is a balance there.
Pointless.
But with the metaverse, I feel it is worse, because then I think it gives people an out, saying you don't have to meet in the real world. Here, at least, if you like do whatever interaction that you do on social media or iMessage, at least there is some real world connection to it. At some point, you probably want to meet that guy or girl, whatever. But here, you can just say, let's meet in the metaverse, and that could be it. So I think that is making things way, way worse. I hope.
Genuinely, that's so bad, man.
Yeah, it's very bad. There is also talk of NFTs on this thing. Did you read about that?
No. I think we were talking just before the podcast, right? Just fill me up on that.
Yeah, so even I don't know a lot about how Facebook plans to integrate NFTs into the metaverse. But the way I understand it is that they want to create essentially a marketplace, like Facebook Marketplace, but for NFTs. So I'm assuming you can go and sell a picture of a rock or the Mona Lisa or whatever on this.
Yeah, the Mona Lisa example was awesome,
right.
Actually.
So right. So I think their goal is, and that is exactly what they are trying to do. You would go.
So what PB was saying. So what PB was saying like few minutes ago when we were talking offline is like you meet a friend in a fake house. Like your friend comes over in your fake house, and then you both look at the fake Mona Lisa painting that your friend has purchased.
Yeah, I mean that's exactly what Zuckerberg is doing. And when you say fake, you mean the metaverse. So it's so you log into the metaverse. So there is a section in that Connect 2021 where Zuckerberg goes into metaverse. He's like chilling with somebody, like chilling as in whatever the metaverse version of chilling is. Then he gets a phone call from some some woman in Brooklyn, and she says, oh, look at my AR art that I just found on the street. She scans that art with her brain, and then or whatever her goggles, and then that art
with the brain.
Yeah, essentially, and then it shows up in the metaverse. And then both of them look at that fake piece of art in the fake metaverse through their fake lives. So, and then they both admire it. So the idea is you would go collecting these NFTs, put them in your metaverse house, and then I guess show people like how cool your metaverse house is. I think that's the idea.
That is significantly worse, man. It's so pointless to the whole buying the art in a digital format and all of that. As in, I'm not sold yet for that, because the whole NFT thing that is going on.
Well,
and like we were speaking few minutes ago, since it's not centrally regulated, if someone does pose as the wrong person and you actually sell or buy from that person, you cannot even if you can see all the transactions, you cannot really revert, because there's no central agency to help you with that or something like that.
Yeah, no, but I disagree with that. I think the NFT idea is actually very good, and actually not being centralizes the strength of NFTs. So same with crypto, you can independent.
You were actually psyched, right? When I remember we were speaking about NFT when it just like came out, you were like super psyched about it.
Yeah, no, I love that concept, because when you have decentralized trust, right? Let's say you want you want to sell a digital art painting or like a song or something that you created, then you can do that through this NFT thing. And not just that, it is verifiable ownership. I think that's the best part about it. So even though you can right, like you can get scammed, it is true, but you can also verify if or not your NFT is legit, and this is unfalsifiable. So you can, anybody can check essentially. Like if you say you have this, you own this picture of a rock, which I think is one of the most famous NFTs, then people can right, like then people can independently verify that you do own that piece of rock. So in my opinion, it's a very interesting idea. It changes the concept of ownership. So
so what I thought, so my very very basic analysis, like obviously I have not read anywhere close to what you have read about this topic, but whatever little I have read about it, I did. So as a concept, it seems really really great, but in reality, what some of the news I read, again, could be fake, could be wrong, but I also read that some bad actors, obviously, and there's always going to be bad actors, right, whether it's physical world or virtual world or whatever. So some bad actors are just uploading or creating copies of, say, someone else's artwork, for example, and then putting it on, and then the people who have actually created the artwork are not able to upload the highest possible quality because they weren't the first to do it. So is that something that is an issue, or it's something I read at a wrong place?
So it's a little bit nuanced, right? So what happens is, right, let's say you create a legitimate piece of art, okay, and you want to sell it on this whatever NFT platform, let's say powered by Ethereum. You could do it, or you could sell it the traditional way, but let's say I copy your piece of art, okay, I take a picture of it or something and I put it on.
Not like that though. Okay. If you have the source, like if you have the actual source with all the metadata right. that the actual file has, okay. In that case,
so in that case, like before your first transaction has happened, so let's say you never sold it, then your art got legitimately stolen, correct? Because I was a bad actor that stole a piece of art from you when it was never sold. Okay, and that is an issue, because then I can sell your stuff and then
you are the rightful owner, right? Even if you're a bad actor, you are the rightful owner, and there's no way in hell I can prove that otherwise. Correct. Right?
Correct. So, and I am the rightful owner only because I will sign it with my key, right? So then it becomes verifiable that I created it and I was the first one. That is true. But if you execute the transaction before I steal your stuff, right? So let's say you put it on the Ethereum blockchain, even if you sell it, for dirt cheap or whatever, if you just put it on the marketplace and sign it with your key, then I cannot, like, even if
then you're good.
Yeah, right. Then you're good, because then even if I steal it, it's pointless because the owner was established before I stole it. So in this sense, it's better.
I think all these issues might be arising because it's a new technology. Even the artists themselves are being scammed by middlemen who are claiming to, because see, obviously for an artist, he or she might not be well versed with the technology that goes behind it, right? Maybe the marketplace is not friendly enough to put it on or whatever, and then right now, since it's not regularized enough in the sense of people not being familiar in that sense, I think it's causing whatever little issues it is right now. But when eventually it will be something that artists are like very much aware of what it is and how people are getting scammed and all of that, then I think they'll at that point make sure to themselves upload their copy and sign it, like you said, before any scam or any issues like that occur. And this might be because it's all a new technology and people are not aware of the loopholes and all of that.
So it might just be an ease of use thing, right? So currently, when you said middleman, then I realized what you're talking about. So if I'm the middleman and you're the artist, and I get all the pieces of art from you and then I put them on, you're kind of fucked. But it's the same.
You're
right. Exactly. You're fucked. But it's the same thing as me in the real world telling you, like, give me all the paintings that you created and I will put them in a studio and, like, everything will be good. We'll pay you good money. But then I run away with it. So when people start realizing this, then I think this will go down.
True that. So I think that the physical world issue is not that pronounced because it's an old field, right? It's a known thing. Like the artists know that these are the good vendors and these like preserve your artwork correctly and all of that, whereas this is completely new. I think that is the main issue here.
Yeah, so I think they will be educated that there is no middleman on these platforms. There is only you and somebody else that you're selling to. There is nobody else in the middle. Nobody needs to regulate anything. So I think that's the biggest thing here. Nobody's going to take a cut from the transaction. So except fucking Facebook, because Facebook wants to do this. So
yep, Facebook will do it.
No,
I mean, we are certain of it.
Yeah, and they said that, right? So what Facebook wants to do is they want to create an NFT marketplace for their, metaverse, metaverse. So that's what they're going to do. They're going to create
Dude, it's such a pointless name. Yeah. I mean, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but it is such a pointless name. Every time I say the word meta out loud, it's like, what were you thinking?
Yeah, I mean, it makes no sense. I don't know what they were thinking either. But that's what they're going to do, man. And this, I think, this is quite terrible, because first, Facebook is going to violate every single possible, route of privacy that they can get. So your art, just imagine, like you are now creating art, you're giving them data, they already know about your pictures, like location, they know everything about you, and now they're taking it to the next level where you're literally chained to the system. Like you're going to create art which is only sellable on their metaverse, which I think is just ridiculously dumb, but it's going to happen.
Yeah, it's like the medium of communication, like it's, if we are face to face, it's air right now, but they are taking that entire thing out of equation. Like it's all gonna be through Facebook. So your basic survival, like I hope it doesn't become like that WeChat thing in China, where everything happens through WeChat. Everything, like all like from cab to payments to groceries to meets to socialization, everything happens through WeChat, like a super app kind of thing. And I think that is what Zuck is aiming at here. For the world.
Yeah, well, my advice is stay off the fucking metaverse. Don't support Zuckerberg, but buy Roblox stock, because then you can cash out when when people finally get hooked to it. Stay in the real world.
Good one.
Right, buy Roblox stock. In fact, after this podcast ends, I'm going to go to my TD Amritrade account and buy some Roblox.
Buy Roblox.
So
So basically buy all the stocks of all the game makers that are in playing in AR VR right
Definitely
now.
Do that.
Just all the ones that are small enough and kind of going out of business or struggling with finances, just buy all of those.
Exactly. And then as these Gen Z nihilists sign on these platforms and they get hooked, you can disconnect from the metaverse and watch as these people burn, but you will make money. So there's always,
Dude, that is so dark, man. That is so dark.
So that's what I'm suggesting. I'm also only partially joking. So if you want to be rich, just make sure to buy lots of VR and
PB soon writing a book. PB soon writing a book on how to get rich in the world of meta.
Exactly. So we're going to do that. And speaking of which, there is another shit coin that I want to promote. It's called Santa coin or something like that.
What the hell is that?
It's another shit coin. I think it's going to explode in December when Christmas comes along. It's another.
It's like that Doge coin.
This is way worse than that. This makes Dogecoin look like the US dollar. This is way worse. So I'm trying to get my sister to buy some Santa coin.
Is this legit shit or are you joking?
No.
Because
I'm not
you can't say like what's real anymore.
No, I'm not joking. There is a Santa coin and it seems to be going up. So I'm going to buy some Santa coin.
The fact that I thought it couldn't be a joke is like, like the Doge coin was such a hilarious thing, man, the way it started.
Yeah, there is also Shiba Inu coin. I have some Shiba Inu coin, which is good. There's a lot of shit. There's a lot of money to be made on shit coins, man. I don't hate on shit coins. So I suggest.
I'm wondering how Apple isn't doing putting a logo on their coin.
Oh,
it's.
Oh, when the app.
It's weird.
Yeah, when the Apple coin.
iCoin.
No. You're wrong. When Apple coin comes out, it will be called some M1 uranium supersonic titanium liquid retina coin or something like that.
Pro Plus. Don't forget that.
They're naming. They need to fire their marketing department. To be clear, it's the fucking worst marketing department on earth. Like, I bought a new MacBook and it's
Liquid Retina, man.
Like,
Liquid Retina was such a joke when they announced
what
it.
is liquid?
Just call it LCD. Just you have a low-end LCD panel. Just say that on your iPhone 11.
What is liquid retina XDR? What does it mean?
It melts your eyes basically.
What is XDR? So yeah, I mean, they make good displays. Like the new.
True that.
Right.
The name is shit.
Dude,
Bro.
the name sucks.
You got a MacBook, right?
Yeah. I mean, all displays are good. The MacBook display is good, but have you seen the super expensive Apple display that costs $5,000?
The one with the $999 stand?
Yeah, exactly. So that display was is the best display that I've ever seen by far. So, they do make good displays. And actually the competing display with, a competing display of that caliber actually is like 6 times the cost. So props to them for creating, a $5,000 display. So if you're, I guess, a famous filmmaker or something, good, like Quentin Tarantino, maybe you need one. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess really niche audience there.
Yeah, I think it's like true professionals, right? Like filmmakers and like true professionals in the sphere of like video production or something like that. But anyway.
And then there's you.
Yeah.
Who also ends up buying.
I will buy the Liquid Retina XDR display to watch cat videos, correct?
480p cat videos.
480p cat videos. That's coming next. Okay, cool. So, any last, thoughts before we wrap this up?
No, man. I think this is good shit. Yeah. The Metaverse, do not sign up for it. I know you will. But, it's just I'm doing my part by saying do not give all the permissions. Do not click accept, and do not go into Metaverse once they start giving out free shit.
Yeah.
Use your brains. And use Signal also, by the way.
So the audience of this show should not go on the Metaverse because we want you to be rich. But most people I want on the Metaverse because, we want to be rich. So that's why make sure that tell your friends to be on the Metaverse, but you shouldn't be on there. So pro tip.
This is taking really dark turns today, bro.
Yeah, I know. But of course, I hope people realize the sarcasm in this. Don't go on the Metaverse. Don't support Facebook. Use Signal. All the stuff that we promote, So, cool. Okay.
Yep.
I think with that, we can call it a wrap.
Yep. This is a wrap.
Okay.
All right. Take care. Bye.
Take care, everybody.